everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my very first video of 2018, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my stretched ears. If you're thinking about stretching your ears, this might be a very helpful video, because in this video I'm going to talk about how I started stretching and all the annoying things about stretching that I have encountered over the years. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So first things first, I actually got my piercing holes, so the regular holes, when I was 12 or 13, when I did what we call here in Belgium plechtige communie. So it's the second communion. I'm not sure how that translates exactly, but it's a Christian thing. I was in very Christian environment and Christian schools, so it's kind of normal that I did it. Now back then I got my ears pierced, and I know that I struggled a lot with getting them healed, but eventually after a few years I never had trouble with them again. When I was about 18-19, I decided I wanted stretched ears, but my parents are very much against it. So what I would do was stretch really slowly to 4 millimeters. Then my mom would notice that I had stretched ears because I was trying to wear tunnels, and she would grab me and punish me for having stretched ears, so I had to take them out again. Now this continues until I finally moved out of my parents, so I was 22 I think, when I finally was able to stretch to the size that I have right now, which is 8 millimeters. Now I didn't know a lot about stretching when I started stretching, so what I used are those spiral tunnels. And actually in this box is all of my piercing jewelry. It's how I keep it, and I will show you the tools that I started stretching with. First of all, because I was at a normal earring size, I didn't have big earrings, I took this type of earring, which is just a tiny bit thicker. I think this is a 1.2 or a 1.6 millimeters jewelry piece for piercings, and I took this and I poked it through my ears, and this was really hurtful. It was really painful at first, and then once that this thing was fully adjusted to my ears, I would actually start stretching with things that maybe are or aren't meant for stretching. The second thing I have is this kind of really pretty hook thing, which is, I believe, 2 millimeters, and this was also a really big struggle to get through at first because it doesn't really taper. And from the same shop I also bought a size bigger, which was a 3 millimeter, I believe. The first actual stretching tool that I think I got from a piercing shop or from a friend is this thing. It's kind of a hook, and it goes up to 4 millimeters. And when I was at this size, I started wearing tiny tunnels. And I do still own these tunnels. These are 4 millimeter tunnels by Crazy Factory, and I have a really teeny tiny heart at the middle. Now this is when my mom noticed that I had tunnels, when I started wearing these things. And actually this is super small, so every time I would take out my stretched earring jewelry, my holes would close up back again, and they still do up to this day. So I stretched from 4 millimeters to 6 millimeters using this spiral thing, which is an absolute pain in the ass to use for stretching. I would never ever recommend it to anyone, because first of all, I'm not sure if you can see it like this, but it is not round. So your earlobe will be stretched, but not nicely round. It will be kind of an oval shape, which at the time I had no clue that that would make any difference, but it does, and it's not really the best way to stretch. And I also have the bigger one that goes from 6 to 8 millimeters, and this is the one that I stopped at. So this is the last one that I have. I do not have any stretching tools to go over 8 millimeters. So for my stretching journey, I actually never used the right jewelry to stretch. I would highly recommend going to a piercing shop and actually talking to those people and let them give you advice. I would recommend using tapers that are like a basic taper shape and not a spiral taper, because you will just spend way too much time with those things in your ears. I would also recommend using wood or glass or even metals if that's better for your ears, because it truly helps. I would not recommend using acrylic to stretch your ears. Now most of the time I will be wearing these silicone tunnels, which you have seen me wear in most of my videos. If you look at pictures of me, most of the time I will be wearing these black silicone tunnels. They make my earlobe appear a tiny bit bigger than it actually is, because it is a bit flared out at the edges, but because it is very squishy, it's very easy to get in. Now I also have some other silicone tunnels. I have black ones that I wear a lot, quite often. They have a tiny rim, which makes it that they don't fall out of my ear. And I also have these in skin color, which isn't actually skin color. Now today I am wearing another set of my tunnels, and these are, I believe, acrylics, which isn't the best to put in your ears, but they have a screw back, so you can actually screw it open, push them through your ear and screw it back, and that's pretty much the only way I can wear things like these in my ears. Now I do have a lot of pretty things that are, for example, these ones. These are Tawapa plugs, and they are super pretty. They are a 8mm, but actually only the inner rim is 8mm. So if I want to wear these, I actually have to make sure that my ears have been well lotioned, well stretched, etc., because otherwise I cannot get these in. Now the main thing about stretched ears that people are afraid of is them being smelly. Now what I personally do is every time I take a shower, I will unscrew or take out my ear jewelry, all of them except for the piercing that is over there because I cannot get it out. And I will just wash my ears as well when I am washing my body. So I will be using the same soap that I used to wash my face on my ears. I will just go through them and make sure that my earlobes are clean. And then after the shower, I clean my piercing jewelry before I put it back in. And that really helps me from getting really smelly ears. Now, something that I personally really struggle with is my earlobes closing up again and shrinking. Because when I take a shower, I take out my jewelry, as I just said, to clean it, but sometimes I forget to immediately put my jewelry back in, and over the course of 1 to 2 hours, my earlobes will have already shrunken a bit. So jewelry like this ones I cannot get in at that moment. So what I will most likely do is just get my stretchy tunnels by Chaos Crew and put those in my ears, and they will slowly but gently expand my ear again to 8mm. Now another downside to not going over 8mm is the jewelry that I can find, because there's not such a large assortment of jewelry for piercings that are under 10mm. And I understand this because it is a lot more difficult to get really tiny designs to be perfect, whereas if you have a bigger size of earlobe to work with or jewelry to work with, it makes it a lot easier to get designs on them. And then the final thing is regretting having stretched ears. Now, for me personally, it's very easy to take them out and my holes will close up pretty fast again. I think it would only take about a month until you wouldn't be able to notice it anymore, because I have done it in the past, and this is actually the longest period of time in one sitting that I had my stretched ears at 8mm, which is now about 2 years. And I must say that I really love them, but if one day I don't want them anymore, I will just take them out and let the ear shrink again, which is possible. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do in the future, but for now I'm really happy with my stretched ears. I hope this video answered some questions about stretched ears. If you still have any, you can always ask me in the comment section and I will do my best to give you a good answer. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week and I would love to have you here for every single one of them. Thank you for watching and I will see you soon. Bye!